Hello, here we are again with another skin pack, the Tethered Realms skin collection, and again Riot without failure creating another talked about and polarizing skin collection. It's interesting how Riot can always do this with Valorant, but the Tethered Realms skin collection is a lot like the other skin collections. You're either going to really love it or really hate it. There's not much of an in-between, but we will talk about the in-between. And I'm going to be as objective as I possibly can be. The reason being that I understand a lot of people hate it because it is a green screen skin. And on the other end, I understand that from my own perspective, while I like green screen skins, I understand where the community comes from with their opinions and their taste on what's good and bad in the skin world of Valorant. Holy crow, before we go any further, let's see a rewind of that.
One enemy remaining. Reloading.
That was pretty sweet. If that doesn't deserve a like on the video, I don't know what does. But to get back on track, I want to teach you guys some little facts about the Tethered Realm skins. To better explain them and maybe give you some info on stuff that you didn't know about. I certainly didn't know about it, and I was under the impression that the Tethered Realm skins were just the Forsaken skins being repurposed to have a green screen style. But it turns out the Tethered Realms are actually two different groups of skins. The Forsaken and the Sovereign, which I'm just going to jump right ahead to one of my biggest points for this video. If the Tethered Realms is supposed to be the Forsaken and the Sovereign, why does the knife look like this? The Forsaken knife is there, but instead we're given this giant, view-obscuring, massive sword. Which to also reiterate, I'm being objective with this. Whether or not you like it is your opinion. I personally like it, and I'm trying to review this in an objective way. And objectively speaking, if this is supposed to be the Sovereign skins and the Forsaken skins being the Tethered Realms, why did it not look like this? I like to think that I get pretty creative with these thumbnails, and when I make these thumbnails, I use what I know about graphic design to make stuff that I think would look literally awesome. They already have the Forsaken knife as a part of it. Why would they not put the Sovereign sword as the sword part of it? It's literally in the name, and it's the skin that it's supposed to be. Imagine how cool that would have been having a skin set with a knife that was two knives being the Forsaken and the Sovereign sword together for the price of one. But what we got is what we got. And while I do think what we got is really cool, it was a missed opportunity nonetheless to put together two really cool skins and really hit it out of the park in terms of the public reception of this. There was an opportunity to have the Forsaken and the Sovereign sword be together in two hands, but instead we got the Forsaken with a old school Namco game sword in the other hand.
Tethered Realms.
Hey, maybe that's why I like it so much. But what really is the Tethered Realms sword supposed to be? It's not the Sovereign sword, but it is related. Maybe this is obvious to you, maybe it wasn't. But the sword in the Tethered Realms is actually the sword that comes down on you when you have been finished off by a Sovereign weapon.
I can feel it.
Kinda obvious, huh? I think that's pretty cool. If I had to come up with an explanation as to why the Sovereign sword isn't the sword in the Tethered Realms dual-wielded melee collection, it's already bad enough, quote-unquote bad, that the Tethered Realm is two old skin collections being repurposed with green screen effects. So imagine the dismay of players if they were to pay $71 the way that they did for the Forsaken, again, for the Tethered Realms. It would sort of kind of minimize their value as individual items. So I think the sort of route that they took here was finding a good middle ground for the two of those things. You paid $71 for the Forsaken set, maybe you paid for the Sovereign set, just for a collection to come out with a melee that is both of those two together for the price of one. So to alleviate that sort of feeling, Tethered Realms is the Forsaken dagger, and it's a green screen skin. And so it's not entirely a copy of something else. They give us the unique sword from the Sovereign finisher, making something unique for the Forsaken melee, while keeping the Forsaken knife and the Sovereign sword individual items on their own behalf. And you know what? I'm supposed to be explaining stuff that you guys might not have known. I'm getting way too in review mode right now, so I'm going to slow it down. And again, teach you some little stuff, if you'll listen to me, of course. Which, by the way, if you are listening to me right now at this very timestamp in the video, leave me a comment that says, "You're welcome." It will be our special, legendary, super secret. I'll know what you guys are talking about, and we'll have a little connection in the comment section. But stuff that you might not have known. I've seen a lot of people sort of complaining about the melee just being a textureless, weird-looking thing that kind of fades from white to dark. And while that might be true to a certain extent, if you look closely, you can actually see the artwork inside of the Tethered Realm skins. You will not be seeing this in-game, but if we do a little zoom in here, you can very faintly see the artwork on the inside of the sword. You can kind of somewhat see it in the dagger, but not really at all. It's very hard to see. The zoom in won't even help. And since the set has been out for a few days now, you probably know at this point that if you buy the Tethered Realms melee, you do have to pay to upgrade it. So unupgraded, it is just the sword, no dagger. When you upgrade it, it gives you the dagger and you dual wield it. You cannot just solo carry the dagger, which might be kind of cool if they would have that be a thing, but it's currently not. So there is that little bit of info for you, if you are thinking about buying it, of course, because I am here to help you out because I own all of these skins, and would like to help you out with what I can tell you. Moving onward though, I'd like to touch on the last fact that I have about the skin set that you might not know. And again, all this stuff that I'm telling you is for the purpose of you making a judgment call on whether or not you like it and whether or not you would buy it. You do have to pay 10 Radianite points to upgrade it to have the dual wield effect. It looks really cool when you're holding it. It looks really cool when you're spectating it. It changes colors. It's like a dark versus light kind of thing. However, the biggest issue that I have with this is when you pay the Radianite points to upgrade it to the dual wield sword dagger, you cannot see it in third person, as shown here. Now for me, this is incredibly disappointing, and I understand that this probably comes down to a hard to code in animation, but I really think that this is something that didn't take it to the extra level that it's supposed to be at. A lot of people will complain and say that Riot is lazy for making green screen skin, but what I do think is lazy is not taking the initiative to make it display when you're holding it in third person. You already bought the skin for $71 for the collection, or $35 or whatever it is to get just the melee. Then you have to pay potentially money for the Radianite points if you don't already have them, and you have to use your Radianite points that cost money to upgrade it to have the dual wield sword dagger. Why would it not display in third person? And what really taints that sentiment for me is the fact that the best part of the Tethered Realms skin collection is objectively the melee. Objectively speaking, a lot of people do not like the green screen skins. My personal feelings aside with that, I can't change the way that the community feels about it. So the best thing that you could possibly get from this set is the sword and the dagger. And it not displaying in third person is kind of unfortunate and does taint this set a little bit. Interestingly enough though, the green screen effect can change when you're viewing it in third person. You can see that the sword was light, and now that I'm standing in the shade, the sword is now dark. That's pretty cool. That's awesome that it can change in third person in real time like that. I understand that this is very, very sophisticated animation and programming that went into this. Super cool on behalf of Riot. Super cool for all the people who own it. Your enemies will be vanquished in whatever shade you're standing in. And before we move on to the final rating for this skin set, I'd like to thank Dr. Bobbert for my Discord group for helping me record this part of the video. Thank you so much, Dr. Bobbert. Love you. If you would like to join the Discord, come and hang out, have some positive discourse, and just hang out, be buds. Links are always down below in the description. Check them all out. But now for the most anticipated part of this video. I give this a number rating out of 5 on whether or not you should buy or save this and how worth it is. My personal feelings on the skin set is that I love green screen skins. I can't get enough of them, and they are my favorite kinds of skins that exist in the game today. And it's really cool that they took an old skin set model and were able to put a green screen inside of it. But that is a subjective take. The objective take for this is that this is $71 for the Forsaken skins and the Sovereign skins that you might already own without finishers. And the only real unique part that you can get from this is the melee, being the sword and the dagger, which you have to upgrade anyways, which can't be seen in third person. It changes colors, and it's really cool for what it is. The sword is from the Sovereign finisher, as we've learned about in this video. In regards to a rating for the skin set, I can only give this skin set a 2.5 out of 5. I love it, but in regards to the bang for your buck, the only thing that is a must buy from the set is the melee. You could do without all the other skins. It might be better off saving your money. The melee is unique and stands out as the only dual-wielded melee weapon in Valorant as it stands. You could get another green screen skin if you wanted to. And if you're going to buy the weapon skins, you might as well just buy the Forsaken or the Sovereign skins. I see no point in buying the Tethered Realms weapon skins when they do not come with finishers and variants, the way that the Forsaken and the Sovereign do. But what do you think? How did you feel about the Tethered Realm skins? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. I post weekly content about Valorant, and I cover a wide range of things. As always, I'm Justin, and you're not, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you.